Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fire going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take you for your money, whatever spring. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. Guitar Players Planet. 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 Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way that music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the lands of new. Oh, na 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 na.
everybody in AstroWorld. What's going on? How's it going? Astro
Good
Playground.
evening. Good
Yeah,
evening. Good
good
evening.
evening.
Good evening.
It's funny. I was just finishing reading a book called The Land, and they talk about vampires and stuff. So when you said good evening, I was like, good evening.
Good evening.
So how's it going, everybody in AstroWorld? We're here tonight for our weekly beginners Q&A that we do and if you logged on early and accidentally saw we begin at 9, that was all me and hitting the wrong button. We begin at 8 every Friday night. Scott and I will be on. Hopefully in the future we will be talking about and doing some live streaming as well. And as far as our imaging routine and the different software that we have to use to pull off these wonderful photos like the one you have behind me, which I took from my cruddy Long Island polluted skies, with a really small, well, relatively small telescope, 3-inch refractor. So it's really nice to see. Again, this is what's called a narrow band image, and basically what you're doing is you're taking very specific information from very specific wavelengths of light, and there are the wavelengths of hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. And basically you assign them to colors, and you get a false color palette, or as you see behind me, this is called the Hubble palette, based on the Hubble Space Telescope. So the one thing that I'd like to talk about really is what can you really get from light polluted skies and with the beginner's telescope. So why don't we talk about that for a little bit? What say you, Scott? I spoke for the first 5 minutes. So.
Well, my first beginner telescope was a 4-inch Newton, and I had it was a Frankenscope. I think it was a Celestron tube, and it was a Meade tripod. It was all manual.
Sure.
It was great. I mean, I was able to see, Jupiter and the Galilean moons, and
Sure.
the rings of Saturn, and you look at the moon, and it's great. But you very quickly outgrow that.
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah, and I went right from like kindergarten to grad school, so.
Yeah, well, yeah, you went to your doctorate after that. Yeah, but normal people don't take the path that Scott has taken. Scott, as we've said on many shows before, is not a normal person. So
insane.
So the normal type of thing, now it's a little bit different of a path, I would think, because of the rapid, I guess, usability of technology, with opposed to what I was starting with to what people are starting with now. And I think it's really important to understand that people are getting superb pictures out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they can take them faster. The guiding it's important, but when you're shooting so fast, you're able to get a lot of information in a lot less period of time.
Yeah.
So guiding is very important, but if you're shooting at f2, you can shoot, if you're just starting 15-second exposures, not have to worry about guiding and get a crap ton of information on an object really fast. So it's not as, for shorter exposures, it's not as important to be getting. I've seen people take 215-second exposures and get great great images through either a RASA or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, if you got a a fast scope. You know, if you're only imaging off of a main mirror, you're not imaging off a secondary mirror.
Right.
Yeah, you can definitely reduce dramatically reduce the time that you spend in the field. You know, or spend more time in the field and collect a lot more data.
Sure.
So, but it's all the way you look at it. Actually, the thing that really intrigues me with the Rasa and the Hyperstar, you know, like my setup has got a Hyperstar for it, is the ability to live stream, you know, and do those live image captures with people on YouTube. You know, be able to point at Andromeda and be able to pull in crazy amounts of data in 30 seconds. So, distracted?
No, Gideon told me I forgot to change the title of the video again. I'm not. You know what? I didn't change it on Restream, and I got to change it twice. I changed it on YouTube.
Yeah,
and then I didn't change it on Facebook and Twitch. And I forgot.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about the same things anyway. So, yeah, I kept it the same because it's AstroWorld Q&A. The Wednesday nights is AstroWorld TV, and then Friday nights are Q&A. So sorry about the confusion. I do have, and I just put it together literally 5 minutes ago. I bought a new camera. Now, if you don't know or if you don't follow me on Facebook or Twitter or whatever else I got going on, I don't even know, Instagram, I bought a new camera. And if I could show it to you, but it's gonna look a little weird. So give me a second, and I'm gonna turn my camera. So I'm sorry if you see the light and stuff. So, and then
yeah,
hold on.
Yeah, some of you guys are gonna have shutter envy.
Hopefully that stays. All right. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit.
He's trying. You've got a contrast issue on that camera, man. You can barely see it.
You can see it. There you go. Can you not see that? I mean,
wait a minute.
That's
there you go. Now you can see it. See it. Yeah, you got to remember, I got like a 20-second delay.
All right.
But yeah, now you can see it.
Because you know what? You got to stop watching on YouTube. Stop watching on YouTube. But
I don't have any other choice. It's the only thing I can see.
Okay, so here it is, and I'll see if I can focus a little better. Hey, I almost had it. There we go. So that is a QHY 16200A. And this little guy right here is an off-axis guider right here. Yep. It's got a 7-position filter wheel, which is right there, and the camera's in the back. It is a APS-H as opposed to APS-C. It's a little bigger than APS-C, a little smaller than full frame. It's right in the middle. But I also threw in the Hotech field flattener right there.
Yep.
And this right here, and I know you can't see it, this guy, that's the Asado focuser. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sorry if you see it. This is my other rig. This is a 294 over here. But yeah, so I got that, and I literally just had it put together right before the show. So I'm sorry.
Yep. It's coming together. And that's the Asado focuser, right? That's not a rotator.
The rotator will be coming.
So you're going to put another piece of equipment in that image train?
Yep, the Echo. Yep, and it hooks right up to the Asado, but it goes after. It goes after the so it's right before the rotator that I have on now, the William Optics rotator. Mm-hmm. And this is...
Yep.
No, something like that. Let's see. I'm getting questions about the APS-H. So I'm going to show something really quick on the screen to give you guys what the APS-H is. Give me a second. APS-H. Yeah, because a lot of people are giving me questions on what that is. And I have a picture right here if you give me a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading some of the comments in the chat. Yeah, Beatrice has got questions about her own cameras.
Here you go. So here's what it looks like. All right. So on the outside, you have the full frame camera.
Yep.
The next one is the APS-H. This little lime green guy is APS-C. So it's about 50% bigger than the APS-C, but just about 50% smaller than the full frame. So,
yep.
It's not a very well known chip, APS-H. At least in the United States, it's not very well known. But in other parts of the world, it definitely is. It's a beast. It's a beast.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Getting a bunch of questions.
Yeah, let me go back to. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Show it, mate.
Yeah.
Gideon. Well, let's start at the top. Gideon. Feel free to say your questions. I'm trying to see somebody else.
Yeah, Beatrice is talking about not. She's hit the efficiency limits on her camera, and she can't get it below 15. Yeah, you got to get it into a colder environment.
Hold on a second.
Take it inside and into an air conditioned area. Cover it. Put a cap on it. Run it.
Gideon, you're not supposed to say how much I paid for it, but. I was able to secure a deal from a good friend of mine, and he helped me out a lot, and he continues to help me. And if you don't know Ron Breacher, who's AstroDoc, astrodoc.ca, if you don't know his website, but if you want to go check them out, you can also check them out at mastersofpixinsight.com, and they do monthly tutorials. And this month coming up, Warren Keller is actually processing one of his videos, one of his images, and he's going to walk everybody that shows up through it from WBPP to a good image in 2 hours.
Yep.
So I wish I could do that in 2 hours. It takes me 2 hours just to deconvolve an image. But let's see. I guess how many dollars are on that table? Gideon, you're killing me. I have a question too about my camera. Making darks right now. The cooler it is 100. Yeah, that's what you were just talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. The first thing that I would ask Beatrice is, what temperature are you at right now? Are you doing this inside the house where it's 70 degrees or so? Or are you doing it outside?
Or in a garage.
Or anywhere that has...
Where it's hot.
Yeah, if the thing about cooling, I don't care, a camera can only cool efficiently a certain number of degrees under what your regular temperature is.
The ambient.
Yeah, it's called ambient temperature. And ambient temperature is the temperature that's around you. And that's what it is. So if you're at 80 degrees in Florida, you're not going to get it down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. It's not going to happen. You're going to be at 100%. And when you're at 100% cooling, you're making the camera electronics run hotter as well. Yep. So you really want to keep that cooling efficiency probably about 60 or lower.
60 to 70. Yeah,
You
I
know,
was
I
going
would
to
say
say
I wouldn't
60,
even
no
see
more than
70,
70.
but
Yeah.
I like 60 or lower.
Yep.
And then what a lot of imagers do, including myself, is that because I'm in New York, so I have a lot of temperature swings from spring to summer to fall to winter. I go from anywhere from the teens Fahrenheit to 100 degrees in the summer.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be able to get it down to negative 20 in 100 degrees in the summer. It's not going to happen. So what you got to do is figure out what temperature for. I do it for each season. Every 3 months I'll take beam darks. And I know what not anymore, not with this camera, I'll have to figure this out. But I know where I could get down to without overusing the cooler.
Yep.
So that's going to take some troubleshooting on your end. So what you're going to have to do is start at 0 and see what your cooler is. If your cooler is still only at 20%, go down to -5. Go down to -10. Once you start seeing that efficiency creep up, now you know where you could take those darks and how to keep that temperature without killing your cooler.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest way to kind of do it. It takes some time, but once you write it down as a note in your iPhone and you don't change the camera, you say summer, winter, fall, spring, and what temperature is good. Now, in some areas of the world, you may be able to get to one temperature for all the seasons. So, you know, you're not going to get that in Nevada, but maybe in a place like Vermont or, you know, the northern, you know, somewhere in the middle, like Virginia, maybe even, anywhere in that area, where the temperature kind of doesn't go crazy. There's a good even average temperature, but it's just one of the things that you're just going to kind of have to play around with.
Yeah. You can also, you should be able to determine the mean, you know, whatever your mean temperature is for, you know, the area that you're in during the nighttime, because you're probably not, I mean, unless you're in an area where it's just hot, you know, if you're at 90 degrees at 11:30 at night, yeah, I feel for you, you know, but most people aren't that hot at 11:30 at night, you know, so figure out what your mean temperature is during the times that you're shooting, you know, go inside, you know, get your indoor temperature approximately to that same area, hit your cooler, bring it down, you know, cap that camera and just run your 8 hours worth of darks.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I'm gonna kind of overrun you here a little bit, Scott, but I wouldn't tell anybody to do darks inside, no matter how stable your temperature is. I think you need that cool flow going, unless you have it in front of an air conditioner. I mean, I don't know if you want it that stale air. Maybe it's just me being crazy and anal, but it's just one of the things that I still like to do outside on a nice cloudy, overcast day where you're not going to do any imaging. So,
See,
we got
good
some
advice.
More, we got some more stuff. What do we got? Let's see. Hold on, I skipped. I'm slightly out of focus. Yeah, no, because I changed the focus on that. I don't like to keep the autofocus on because it makes noise, so I stop. Next question.
How important is narrowband imaging in dark skies, Bortle 1 to 3? Well, if you're in Bortle 1 to 3, God bless you. Compared to light polluted skies, high Bortle skies 7 to 9. Well, the thing is that narrowband is, I mean, you're gonna shoot narrowband even if you are in Bortle 3, Bortle 4. You're still gonna shoot narrowband because, you know, there are some broadband targets that you're never gonna get in. Daniel's never gonna be able to shoot broadband from where he's at, not easily. You know, his go-to is gonna be, you know, the narrowband stuff.
No.
But, you know,
no.
What, with filters?
What? Yeah.
With filters?
Yeah, LRGB. Yeah, I can. But to your point.
Yeah,
it's not
all
easy.
I'm saying. No, it's yeah. You're when you're shooting at 3, 4, 5 nanometer, you're only letting a certain amount of that light through. I mean, 3 nanometers. I mean, you take a nanometer is basically taking a meter and dividing it up into a billion pieces. And you're taking three of those, and you're letting that small amount of light through. So you're funneling that light down through a very very fine filter, and it's capturing a certain amount of light and eliminating other. So you're going to get better narrowband imaging, I believe, in darker skies.
Well, yeah, there's no substitute. I'll agree with you 100% that there is no substitute at all for darker skies. However, I guess when you're shooting narrowband at a low Bortle scale, say anywhere from 1 to 4, the reason why I would think that you're doing that is you're getting those, if you want that Hubble palette kind of color. If you want to get H alpha to add to your broadband images,
Yep.
there's no substitute at all for darker skies. It's less noisy. You get better resolution. You can take longer exposures because you're not washing out the sky with all the lovely mercury and sodium vapors that we get from all of those lights. It's you know what? I'm still going to shoot narrowband if I go to Cherry Springs, because I think that some objects like Thor's helmet, let's say, which is an awesome narrowband target. If you take a look at the North American Nebula and you compare the North American Nebula broadband to narrowband, I don't like the way it looks in broadband. It's very red, it's very blah, there's a lot of stars, but it's very blah. Now you do a narrowband, now you got gold and blue, and you got the wall there, and you got all this stuff going on, and different kind of colors. Now, it really has to do with what you want. It's all about what you see and what vision that you have as the artist, because that's what you are as an astrophotographer. You're an artist, and no one can tell you what's good except for you. You know?
Your audio went funky there for a second.
No, it's your internet.
I've been watching the YouTube on me, and I haven't stuttered at all yet. So that's
really?
I'm
I'm watching the
encouraged.
YouTube on me, and you haven't moved in like 10 minutes. So, no, I'm just kidding. Kidding.
I was gonna
Um,
say, wow.
Beatrice said she's never heard of the APS-H before. You know what?
Yeah.
I never heard of it until some guy named Ron
Yep.
said, "Why don't you try this?" And I said, "Okay." So now I have it. Hey Beatrice, are you just doing a library, or is the camera on your scope? Have you tried putting it in the fridge? That's what we were talking about. Eric said the same thing. I'm having a Sky Guider Pro, and whilst it looks like its polar alignment is fine, I'm stuck at 60 seconds without the stars moving. So, Gideon, I mean, there's two versions of the Sky Guider Pro. Do you have the one with the iPolar, or are you using that polar scope still? That's one thing I would. Some of my friends say Red Cat has tilt issues. I have never heard that. I got to be honest with you. I've heard other things with the Red Cat, as far as some bloated stars and pinched optics, but I haven't heard anything regarding tilt issues. Usually the tilt issues that I've seen when attached to a Red Cat is because the sensor isn't square to the adaptive plate, and it's not flat to your optical plane. So, or I'm blind and my PA is no good. Maybe it's when Gideon, if you want to hit me up offline, I'll actually, and I'm going to cover Scott's face again, I think, for a second. Nope. If you want to hit me up online, this is our website and the email address. And if you want to ask Scott any questions as well, feel free. I'll forward that to him. But info@astroworldweb.com. You're more than welcome to hit me up. And if you want to, I'll give you my private email and we can talk about it. But the tilt issues and SkyGuider Pro, I can probably help you out with.
Yeah. As far as polar aligning, I find, just the simple running with sharp cap, the sharp cap polar alignment. It works great.
Yeah, but with the SkyGuider Pro, you're dealing with other issues because you're only.
Oh, he's using a tracker.
Yeah,
I missed that part. I'm sorry, I missed that. My bad. I missed that part.
Yeah, okay. Beatrice said she's inside a dark room with the cap on, but it's about 26 Celsius inside.
Ooh,
what
that's
is that?
hot.
Like,
that's
is that, like
really hot.
degrees?
That's like 90.
No.
Yeah, it's
Is
hot,
it?
brother. Yeah, that's hot. That's really hot.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. 26 Celsius is 80.
80 degrees.
80 degrees. So that's still hot. So yeah. Go outside in your patio in a dark sky. Because even if you're at 80, most cameras at best will go negative 40 under ambient. So just be careful. So that means for you, if you're at 26 Celsius, let's see. I'm not sure what it is. I'll have to look at it in Celsius. What the for the 294 is, what the maximum cooling is. So if you want, I'll get back to you on that. I'm not sure in Celsius what it is. Just ever so slightly moving. Yeah. So if you're taking 90-second images, the one thing I would check on the SkyGuider Pro is make sure that you're in the right tracking mode on the top, because there's buttons on the top, and one's sidereal, which looks like a star, and then there's one that looks like a sun, one looks like a moon. You want the one that looks like a star, and they move at different rates. So just make sure that that's on the right one, and also don't forget your balancing too, and don't underestimate balancing and level. Don't
Level is
underestimate
critical.
any of that. So I would make sure, like your tripod, I would get like a little level and put it across and make sure that it's level. Then put the SkyGuider on and my camera. Actually, SkyGuider, then the counterweights, then the camera, and I would do it in both. Honestly, I would still do it in both directions. So I would have the weights on one side, the camera on the other side. Make sure that if it's weight heavy, move the weights up. If it's camera heavy, move the weights down.
Yep.
Okay? And then what I would do is tighten it up, and then I would loosen the camera angle, so the way the camera swivels, and make sure that the camera is not too lens heavy or body heavy. And make sure that, so you might have to move that and change some things there, or even add another weight on one side or the other. So let's see.
Yeah, but with a tracker like that, they're not going to be image capture for guiding. They're not going to be guiding.
However, you
somebody.
can.
They're just,
You can.
yeah, I know you can.
Yeah.
But sounds to me like he's probably just using the tracker to follow the motion of the Earth.
And another thing with the SkyGuider Pro, do you have a ball mount on there so that you can angle the camera correctly, so you can get good polar alignment? Because I got to be honest with you, those polar scopes, look at I'm sorry. I'm too lazy. They suck. I can't. I don't have the patience. I don't know if I'm looking in the right spot. If I put my head over here, it's different than I put my head over here. I, I just don't have the time and the patience. Like Scott said, I would tell you right off the bat, if you don't have the one with the eye polar, which is the electronic polar scope that comes with the eye guider, just spend the extra $150 and get it. If you don't have that, do what Scott said as well, and get a mini guide scope with a cheap ZWO camera. You know, get like a 120 with the mini guide scope. That'll cost you probably $250 everything together, and use that through the. You put it in you can put it right in the hot shoe on top of your camera, and you could do that and polar align with sharp cap, and you'll be done in like 2 minutes flat.
Yep. Yeah, the sharp cap polar alignment is it's once you do it a few times, it's really easy, you know, to set it up. It's really easy, and it is very accurate.
And you know what? I was one of the ones that when it came out, but before all this software came out with how to figure out, and I don't even know why it took so long to come out and figure out, hey, if I take a picture of something and I see the stars moving, well, I can find out what the center of that circle is and move the telescope there. And it took a while for the algorithms to come out, but I was one of the ones that bought the Polemaster when it first came out, and that was the first one of its kind that had this software. But it was so much to do, and I thought it was the easiest thing at the time, and it was. Click on Polaris, click on another star, put the stars in the diagram, click on Polaris again, move the mount, it just was too much. All of that only took 5 minutes. But like I said 5 minutes ago, I'm lazy. So if I could get that 5 minutes down to 2 minutes, I'm a happy person. And that's what Sharp Cap and an ASI camera does. And it does it well.
Yeah, and I mean, I've polar aligned my tripod now several times, you know, and I can't, you know, Dan hit it. He you know, the importance of getting your tripod level, getting the alignment, you know, where your front leg is pointing roughly at Polaris.
Correct.
You know, and then you know, with Sharp Cap, I fire it up through my my William Optic 61, the guide star, and I point it in that general direction, and it says okay, and it plate solves that area of the sky. It says okay, this is roughly where you are. Now tilt your scope over 90 degrees. You tilt it over 90 degrees, it takes another picture. Right? It plate solves that picture, and it says okay. Now you write your scope, and it says now, and then it gives you a diagram on your screen as exactly how far you need to move your
adjustment knobs.
But that's not what they're called. Oh my God, my brain just went south. The azimuth.
Yeah, azimuth adjustment knobs.
Yeah, the azimuth knobs. So it tells you that you need to go right, left, this way, and then you need to go your elevation up and down. Exactly, and so you move it a little tiny bit here, a little tiny bit there, and before you know it, bingo, you're right in there.
Yeah,
and it's spot on.
Yeah, I actually do it. A friend of mine actually taught me this, and So what I did was he taught me that I get a rough polar alignment. So because what it does is it says click on it. You got to wait till you get enough stars so it could solve. Then you move your mount probably about either 45 to 60 degrees in either the east or the west. And then it'll plate solve again, and it'll give you an adjustment of, just like Scott said, right, left, up, down. So you make your adjustments, and I do it a second time. So I'll restart the whole thing from where I am at like 40 to 60 degrees, and I'll plate solve that first, and then when I want the second reading, I park the scope so it's pointing north. And then I make the final adjustments there. And, I don't know if it makes any difference, but
Yeah.
It
I mean,
works for me.
it works great.
Yeah.
One of the other things you can do on your phone is just, download the Compass app, and you can see that it'll give you your exact coordinates,
Yep.
as to where you are. And you see that 43 that I've got, that is the elevation that I set. So on the mount, there's a little graduated, um, bar there. You just crank that up until you hit that wherever you are. For me, it's 43. So I set it at approximately 43, and that gets me in the ballpark as to where Polaris is.
Yeah.
As long as I'm roughly pointed in that general direction, um, that Sharp Cap will do the rest, baby.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
freaking awesome. I
And
mean, it
Sharp
really
Cap is
is.
a lot more powerful than what they do a
Oh
really
yeah.
good job with Robin Glover. Robin, yeah, I believe so. His first name is Robin. I don't know if it's Robin Glover. I think that's the actor. But
Yeah.
yeah. So Robin is a one man maniac, and he does a
It's out of
great
England,
job
right?
with Chop Cap. Yeah, yep. And it's like $15 a year. Excuse me, $15 a year for Sharp Cap. So, I mean, just for the polar alignment alone, it's worth the
It's worth
15
it.
bucks. But it is
It's
a
worth it.
full-fledged acquisition software, and it does.
Oh, yeah.
It has a really great live stacking routine. And for
Yep.
you Schmidt users out there, it's got a really good collimation aid.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't seen it, check out Dylan O'Donnell's video on that. He does a really good video on that.
Yeah, he makes it look so easy.
Oh, all those guys do. Dylan and Trevor and all those guys. Chuck, those guys are just awesome. They're all awesome.
Yep. Oh, what other questions we got here?
Well, let's talk a little bit about the official moving of the unofficial, unsanctioned Cherry Springs trip.
Way to commit, soldier.
So we're looking at getting together in Cherry Springs in August, and so Cherry Springs is one of the darkest skies on the eastern seaboard. Without going too far from Long Island, there are other places that are pretty dark. You go down to the Keys in Florida. But what we're really thinking about, and I'm actually looking at it now. I'm trying to see.
Yeah, not August. August, the new moon in August, it's booked for 10 days.
Well, yeah, we were originally planning the first weekend in August, and they have the Woodman's Tear Down the Forest group, or whatever it is.
Yep.
They do it every year, and I totally forgot about it. I always thought it was in September, and that's why because that used to be the Black Forest Star Party, the first new moon in September, and they usually have it around there. So they moved it to October, August. I'm sorry. Do I still have the moon? I don't.
Yeah, the Black Forest Star Party is in October, and the Woodsman's Festival is in August.
Yeah,
So we're looking at either September or July.
Oh no, we're not doing. Yeah, September maybe, not October.
September or July.
Let's see. So, well, I'm also looking at what about late August, like the 23rd. 20. Let's see, 20. Where's June, July, August. 21st, 22nd. Where's the moon?
I think you're going to be dealing with a over 50% moon at that point.
Oh, I'm looking.
I think.
Yeah, that's too much. So let's see. Yeah, so the next one is the first weekend in September. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be September 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yep.
And that's not near the Cherry Spring Star Party in October. So
A month away. Yeah.
that might be a good weekend, even though it's Labor Day weekend. That's
Yep.
usually when the Star Party is for Black Forest, which is
Yep.
also in Cherry Springs as well. So, um,
That's
hey,
why they're not doing it then, is because it overlaps on Labor Day, and
is
I
that the
got this
reason they
from
gave
the
it?
yeah, yep,
Oh,
that's
really?
the yep. He said it's because it overlaps that weekend. The moon phase and the Labor Day weekend overlap, and they didn't want to get inundated.
But what made them change? It's been that weekend for literally 20 years.
I,
I don't know. Whatever.
I got
Well,
nothing. I
that
got
clears
nothing.
up the weekend for us. So, I mean, we're more than welcome to do it.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
let's see. We got some stuff. Gideon sent me an email. Yeah, it's hot. I'd be going to -5 or -10 max right now. Yeah, Eric, totally agree with you. Beatrice, are you by chance in Belgium? Your name sounds familiar, but that might be from the channel. Beatrice has been on quite a bit. She was in the beginning, and she kind of like disappeared for a little bit, and now she's been back, and she's been a long time watcher. So Beatrice, thank you for your support. I appreciate that. And let's see, Beatrice. Okay, I'm not flexible enough to deal with the polar scope. Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Hello?
Don't go there. Don't
Look
go
into
there.
my eye. Look into it. It's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah, you know what? I did that with the Schmidt for 2 years, and I must have twinged my back like weekly doing that.
Yeah, and I mean it's fine if you're like 4'8", 5'2". I'm 6'6". Okay, it's a long way down for me to get to that polar scope,
Yeah,
baby.
not so much. Um,
No, it ain't happening. I'll say
yeah,
you can
Eric,
use the
that
ASIR
is
Pro.
true. You can use the ASIR Pro with the Sky Guider.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll do everything. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
I don't, I don't give the ASIR enough credit because I just don't. But, it's a really good piece of machinery. It really is. It does everything, and you got to work really, really hard. You got to be a master programmer in order to break any of the software in there because it's almost impossible to get into. And it's really, really good.
Oh
Um,
yeah, entry level, mid level, and into this that ASIR is a bomb. It's a
I'll
great
tell you,
place to start.
I know some guys that are master photographers and still use it.
They're still using it.
Yeah,
See?
I mean, it's how much do you really need to acquire images? You don't
Yep.
need a lot. You need the
Yep.
little Raspberry Pi and a timer, and that's all you need. You don't even need
Yeah,
that.
and it has its limitations, but it has its pluses, it has its
Yeah,
minuses, The biggest plus is that it's $300 versus, 2,300, for an Eagle 4 Pro, but it also one of the big limitations is it's brand loyal. You can't use anything but ZWO stuff with it.
and
So,
DSLR.
yeah, DSLR,
Yeah.
exactly. But there are some DSLRs that won't work with it, right?
Well, yeah. I
Or
mean,
is
all the mirrorless.
the mirrorless won't work?
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, most of them. I
So,
think they just came out with some that you could use with the
mhm.
ASIR, the Canon and Nikon.
I'm
I
sure.
think there's a
I'm sure
couple.
it's just a firmware update,
It
when
is,
they
but
get
it's
there.
something to do with the SDKs, the software development kits, and
Yeah. Let's see. Does the ASIR
yeah,
use
no,
the main
yeah,
cameras?
Gideon, you're not
Okay.
going to be able to use it with a Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Nope.
yeah. So and at that point, what I would tell you to do is go to the Eagle Core.
Yep. I
It's
have one.
almost the same price
Yep.
as the ASIR, and you're able to use it with I don't know about Sony cameras as well. I'm not sure, Maybe you could. I don't have
It has a
core.
huge library
Yeah,
of
before you
available
go buy
cameras.
it, make sure that your camera is compatible.
Yep.
But try the core.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
I know astrophotographers with a personal inventory who like to use the ZWAS above a laptop in their observatory. Beatrice, it's all about what you're comfortable with.
Yep.
It really is. If you're comfortable and get great results with an ASIR, knock yourself out. It's a great piece of equipment. And if you're in that ZWO ecosystem, that's the way to go. If you have all ZWO cameras, and you see my rig, I don't. I have a QHY camera. I cannot use. Even with my
Yep.
other camera, I had an SBIG. I cannot use an ASIR. You know, and people yell at me that I should have got the 2600 or something like that with ZWO and become one of these ZWOites. I I gotta be different. I gotta be. That's the way I am. I'm a different guy. I'm a little. Now I'm a little bit of a Prima Luce brand loyalist, I guess. Because I got I got Prima Luce rings and dovetails and whatever. But I also have ZWO guide scope, ZWO imaging camera, Moonlight focuser, QHY camera, Explore Scientific. I mean, I got different stuff, and I like to be able to use different stuff, and you can't do that with the Air. That's the only thing that sticks me to something else. And that's it.
Yeah, and all of my cameras are ZWO cameras, but I've run up against some big time problems with some of their other stuff. I had a hell of a time with their focuser, and that's not to say that the focuser's bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the focuser's bad. I'm saying it didn't work for me. Okay, I'm running that great big monster 14, right, and trying to focus that thing with that little box focuser. It just wasn't working. I needed something better than that. Same thing with the OAG. The OAG is, it's great for shorter focal lengths, but when you're shooting at 2700 millimeter, that little tiny 8 millimeter prism, it just wasn't cutting it.
Yeah.
I get 1 star.
Yeah.
I get 1 star, and my scene goes out 0.5%. I'm done. It's gone.
Yep.
I lost it. It was driving me completely crazy, and praise the gods in heaven, right? I sold that OAG today. Somebody bought it, so it's got a new home.
Yeah, I'm hoping this OAG works. That the pickoff mirror does look a little bit small, but it's made for this camera specifically, so it's got to work, right? So we'll see. And this is going to be my second. I think.
Yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with the camera. I think it had to do with the focal length of my scope.
I think you're right.
Yeah, the camera. It wasn't having a problem at all with the camera, as long as I lined it up correctly.
Yeah.
It worked great. It just the focal length, 2700 millimeter, just wasn't cutting it, baby.
Well, and
too
that's
deep.
with the reducer. Forget about it. Imagine if you were going native.
I'll forget about it. It's nuts. 3910, forget it. No way.
Yeah,
No
Beatrice. Eric has a really cool review. I don't know if you've seen it on the 533. You might want to check it out on his channel as well. He has some good stuff that he's going to be working with. Beatrice said Prima Luce is awesome and QHY as well. I certainly hope so. I think QHY gets a bad rap in the United States because of ZWO and how ZWO just came here and just destroyed the CMOS market. It's so hard to get into it here. And even though this QHY is CCD, it's so hard for them to make a crack in the market here, and it's the same camera. It's just blue instead of red. I don't know.
Yep.
But
Beatrice is asking me about something, so just go ahead and talk.
Yeah,
for a
she
minute.
wants to know about your focuser.
Yeah, I'm gonna show her if I can get the. Okay, let's see if I can show her.
Yeah, the Eagle 4, this is not an Eagle 4. This is actually the Eagle LE. And this is something that hopefully, if I have the time this weekend, to test. And it is their entry-level computer. This is more than a computer. But it's got a Celeron processor. It's got 4 gigabytes of RAM. I think it's a 120 gigabyte solid-state drive. Built-in Wi-Fi, just like everything else. 8 USB ports. You got 4 3.0 and 4 2.0. You got built-in Wi-Fi. You got power outs. You got 4 power outs. You got 2 3 amp outs, 2 8 amp outs, and there's a switcher, so you can kind of move the amps around in the software. So if you need a little more out of the 3s and a little bit less out of the 8s, you can kind of move them.
Yep.
This one doesn't have the Eagle Eye. This is the LE, so it does not come with the eye. The eye is a sky quality meter. It's a built-in sky quality meter, and it points towards the sky. There's one on this side, and you can move the lens to have it on this side as well, and it'll take the measurement of the sky brightness and put that into your fit center so you have it. And it's also, the 4 has built-in GPS. I don't see a GPS antenna on here, so that doesn't come with, again, $845 for this, and you're into the Prima Luce ecosystem. So.
Yep. Yeah, and Dan was the one that talked me into the Eagle, and I'm telling you, I am so glad I listened to him. It is an awesome frame, man. It's just the bomb.
Beatrice asked the question if I'm having any issues with drivers on the QA drive. I'll let you know, because I literally just put it on the back of Telescope right now. So I haven't even loaded up the drivers for it yet. I don't know, but I'll be happy to let you know if you hit me up on email, or if you want to wait till next week, we'll bring it up next week. Hopefully I'll have the time, I think I will, to load up the ASCOM and the Windows drivers for the QHY. I did hear a little bit that they may be a little quirky, but I'll give it a shot. I'll see. You know, but this camera with this scope, it's like a match made in heaven. If you go to astronomy.tools and you do the CCD suitability for this camera and this scope without a reducer, I think there's blue and purple on the left side and red on the right or something, and in the middle there's a nice green area where you're perfectly sampled, no oversampling, no undersampling. And this thing is literally right in the middle of the green.
Nice.
And it says perfect.
Nice.
It says perfect. So I heard you can upgrade the Sky Guider Pro to the iPolar version. I don't know. I don't want to tell you yes. I don't know if you can just get the camera and dump it in the iPolar. I don't know. I can find out for you. Full transparency, I do work over at Camera Concepts and Telescope Solutions 1 day a week. So I'm able to get some information a little bit quicker, maybe not.
Yeah.
You know, but I'll see if that's possible. I'm not sure.
I sent those pictures to your Facebook Messenger, Dan. If you wanted to show Beatrice
what pictures?
I'm using, the focuser.
Oh,
she was asking
okay.
about the focuser. Took
yeah,
pictures.
I can do that. Let me see what I got here. So you can send it on Messenger.
Yeah, it's just in your Facebook Messenger, your private channel.
Yep.
Gideon says, "I feel Scott's irritation through the screen." Really?
Yeah, I saw that.
Am I irritated? I didn't think I was irritated.
You were irritated.
Was I?
Yeah, you were. When they were talking. You were talking about, what were you talking about at that time? What is this? And why is this on my screen? I don't care about cross-app messaging. I don't care about that. Go away. And Scott Cole. Okay, yeah, I could share this. Here we go. And that
You might want to rotate those. That's upside down, but...
Well, you took the picture, man.
Yeah, but I couldn't. I had to take it upside down. Well, I guess I didn't have to take it upside down, but it is upside down.
You know, you could have rotated it yourself and saved it.
I
right?
should have rotated. Yeah, I should have rotated.
You are a
my
photographer.
camera.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
All right. So for those of you who aren't upside down and backwards like a Newtonian reflector, this is a
feather touch focus system.
Starlight Instruments electronic focusing system. This is not the, what is it, the Boss?
This is the actual
Boss?
electric focuser system. This is a whole system in and of itself.
Yeah, this is not the focusing Boss that they sell also.
No.
So I just don't want to get people confused. This is the EFS from Starlight Instruments.
Yep. And so
maybe
you have
want
the
to talk
USB
about this, Scott, that's your focus.
The USB goes out to the this goes out to the Eagle, right? And this is your independent power source, and then the red cable goes out to the camera, which is your data. I think I'm just using a Cat 5e, and that plugs right into the back of this motor, right? So what you see here on this, and I've got a bit of a delay here, so there's the red cable goes into that motor, right? And then the motor attaches just below the level of that gold knurled ring to the focuser. So the focuser is that part that's sitting and clamped right onto the body of the tube, right? The back of the tube, right? Yeah. And that whole thing, this whole thing actually turns 90 degrees, and it engages and disengages the clutch, which is really nice, because then if your clutch is disengaged, you can rotate the gold knob, and you can manually adjust your focus if you want. So you can get it in close to where you want it, and then engage the clutch, and the autofocus routine will take over.
Gotcha.
Sweet as all get out, baby.
Yep. A lot better than what you had, I'll tell you that.
Oh my God, it's a whole hell of a lot better than what I had.
Still
of course,
trying
it's
to
3
sell that
times the
Astronaut.
money. Yeah, exactly. It's more than 3. No, it's more than 3 times. 5 times the money.
Yeah.
It's 5 times the money.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
But
it's worth it.
You know, and
it's
we
the old
keep on
adage:
talking,
buy once, cry once.
Yep. Buy once, cry once. And with that also, let's see, Gideon says ZWO ASI. Oh yeah, you were talking about the OAG. That's when you were irritated. ZWO ASI 183 M3 Pro would be suitable for your Red Cat. Downside is the amp glow, but you can get rid of that with docks. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
there is no.
I'm sorry.
Just real quick. There is no substitute for doing your calibration frames.
No.
You really want to knuckle down and make sure you're doing your calibration frames, your darks, your lights, your bias, your what is it? Your flat darks, your flats, your master darks, right? All those. You want to do all your calibration frames.
Yep.
You get that done right, you're get so much happier with the image quality that you get. You know, it's going to be night and day. Dan can tell you the story. You know,
I didn't take flats forever. Didn't even bother. I said, why do I want to take a picture of light? I don't want to take a picture of light. I want to take space pictures. I don't want... Let me tell you, you're not taking a picture of light. You're taking a picture of the imperfections of the light in your imaging train, including dust motes, fingerprints, uneven illumination across the field.
Everything from the corrector plate to the sensor.
it raised probably the level of quality of my pictures 10 magnitudes. It's great.
Oh yeah.
But
Yep.
I know that Gideon had a lot of questions regarding CCD suitability. So I'm going to share my screen here. And if you've never seen this before, and I know you've actually promoted this on the show before, this is astronomy.tools. And it's got some really cool stuff here.
Yeah.
And
That's your bet right there.
yeah, if you want to know a really quick field of view of your camera, but what we're really looking for is what camera is good for that scope. So right under calculators, there's something called CCD suitability.
Yep.
And when you go into CCD suitability, down at the bottom, there's a place to put your scope, your camera, and if it's one of the set telescopes in here, it will have the focal length. If it's one of the set cameras in here, it'll have the right pixel size. You have to put if you have a Barlow or reducer, because that also changes
Affects
your
it.
sampling.
Sure.
So just for example, you had a GT81. So if you go all the way down to the bottom for William Optics and GT81, depends on which one it is. We'll take the first one. So that's a 478 millimeter focal length. And let's say you were going to use that QHY 183 that somebody mentioned. QHY 183.
Yep.
Boom. Green is good. Okay? So if you're OKCing, which is 2 to 4 degrees, you're at 1.04 arc seconds per pixel. You're going to be awesome with that. So let's show what happens if you go to a camera with a larger pixel size, like the QHY 16200 that I just got. This guy. Now look what happens. You get bigger pixels, same focal length. Now you're undersampling, which isn't necessarily a horrible thing. You can correct for that in software.
Yep.
This is the area here. This area you want to stay away from. This is the oversampling area where isn't, well, it's very, very hard to recover from that. And what you're doing is you're oversampling the image and you're not getting enough data in there to make a good photo. Here is good resolution. Here you're over-resolving, so you're going to have blocky stars over here. And that you could correct with something called drizzling. And drizzling, you also have to be dithering as well. And just for a quick little thing, dithering is a correction that the mount is being made, so it's moving the pixels around the area.
Yep.
And you're moving it to get rid of certain things like satellite trails you won't have to worry about, because in the grand scheme of things, they don't show up in that pixel all the time, so it disregards it. It also allows you to dither.
Yep.
I'm sorry, to drizzle. And what drizzling does, it assumes, because you're dithering and moving around like this, it's going to make your stars rounder and get the resolution higher because it's taking an average of all the pixels around it.
Yep.
And so that's something that you could do with that. And that's astronomy.tools. So you can take a look at that at your own leisure and see before. And a lot of people don't do this before they'd make a purchase. They make a purchase of a camera because some guy at the camera store said, hey, this is an awesome camera, not asking what telescope you have. You gotta have, with anything in life, you gotta have the right tool for the right job.
Yep.
And if you
That's
don't,
right.
you're gonna come up with and you're gonna end up coming to Camera Concepts and coming to me and saying, I need to sell this. It doesn't work with my scope, and you're probably gonna get half the price you paid for it. So, just be careful, buyer beware. Make sure that you do your due diligence, do your investigation, or ask somebody,
Yep.
either through AstroWorld or somebody else that you know that is is into astrophotography and knows what they're talking about, so they can give you quality information and not just something trying to make a sale.
Yep. That's right. That's what I did initially with my camera purchases. With this particular the C14. The 2600 was a good choice.
Yeah,
The one shot color was a good choice for both the back of the scope and the front of the scope.
yeah,
But it is also the mono. Is also it's the same camera. It just it's got a little better quantum efficiency. It's of course mono, so there's no barometrics, but it's essentially the same sensor. So there's not a whole heck of a lot of difference. If I want to run the color camera or the mono camera at the same time, or switch them out. But I ultimately won't be doing that. I'll be running the LRGB, for my broadband stuff and narrowband filters if I can ever find them.
yeah.
um, you know, but my one shot color, the 2600, it'll go up on the Hyperstar, and I've got a quad band filter for narrowband. I've got a Beta Moon Sky Glow, for a 2-inch filter drawer, and it'll be great. The one shot color will be awesome for doing live stacking, and yeah, so it should be fun. It's need to get the stuff here.
Yeah.
I've been waiting forever. Oh my god, it's killing me.
I'm telling you.
Uh, the good news is that finally, it looks like next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even Thursday, Friday, it's going to be like Christmas morning at this house, I'm
Yeah.
getting stuff almost every single day, including the ZWO Mono, which is coming from China. So, and I also
Go
I
ahead.
bought the Spica Flat. I got the Spica Flat,
Yeah.
and that'll be here Monday. It'll be the first thing that gets here.
Actually, Eric had a really good question on how do you determine the seeing condition for this tool. When you pull down and you take a look at the seeing condition, it gives you a FWHM range. And that's the FWHM, the full width half maximum of your focus on the average. So if your FWHM reading when you're doing your focus routine is between, I think it's 2 and 4, you're good seeing. If you're 0.5 to 1, you're excellent, whatever the case may be. So you got to use FW. Be careful because a lot of things you're using right now have flux diameter, which is HFD. That's a little different than FWHM. The algorithm's a little different as far as the math on how to calculate it. But if you do FWHM in your focus routine, and I'm sure there's a little tick box somewhere in your focus routine to switch it over, you could get that. And then you get that reading and you plop that in there. And you judge it based on that.
Yeah, and I think that's built right into, isn't it? Is it built into Sequence Generator Pro or
I'm pretty
PhD?
sure. I think
PhD
it's
too?
in PhD.
PhD too.
PhD has it. I think Sequence Generator Pro defaults to HFD, if I remember right. I'd have to look and see if there's a. There probably is a FWHM. There are a bunch of different types of. A lot of people are finding out from what I'm reading on all the blogs and everything that HFD half flux diameter is a little bit more accurate supposedly than FWHM. I'll be honest with you. I've used them both for years, I've always had decent focusing. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Jim's Astro popped on, and Gideon wants a tab at Camera Concepts. Hey, you know what? You're more than happy to put stuff on layaway. So you could, and in fairness, if you want something and you want to order something and you want to, just put 20% down on whatever it is, feel free to give me a call, and I can put you in the list, because the amount of time that we're waiting on product right now, you better get on a list now to get something in 2022. So,
yep.
Because that's what everybody else is doing too. They're putting everybody on these waiting lists. So,
yep.
Hi, Jim's
Yeah,
Astro. Jim says hi.
Yeah. I'm so over the waiting list thing.
I just thought waiting list was
give
for
me my stuff.
astrophysics or lunch or something like that. And now it's for everything.
And you see, it is absolutely insane. It is insane. You go from one side of the spectrum to the other. I literally waited 8 months for a dew shield.
Yeah, well.
Now, granted, there were mitigating circumstances in that with a move and this and that, but nevertheless, I still waited 8 months, right?
Yeah.
This new mount that I'm getting, they ordered it from South Korea, and it was in the showroom in less than a week. From South Korea.
Well, hold on. Wait a second. We're not comparing apples to apples here. You're comparing an $8,000 mount, which, in all fairness, a lot of people don't usually buy an $8,000 mount, in all fairness. So they probably had it sitting on a shelf for a while, as opposed to a C14 dew shield, which a ton of people have. A lot of people have C14s, and hey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same with some of these other things. I mean, what was the lead time for something for the 925 Edge and the 11 Edge? It's second quarter next year.
Yeah, it's June 2022. Yeah.
Yeah. It's insane.
Well,
insane.
I don't know if I told you on Wednesday that I ordered the EQ8R.
Yeah, I know, and they pulled a Scotty on you. Not me, Scotty, but Scotty from Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took 6 hours, and then it's
exactly.
4. How can I keep my miracle worker status or whatever?
That's exactly right. That's exactly what they did.
So, no, I just got lucky. Camera Concepts actually ordered what I told them to order to keep an EQ8R in stock, and I didn't think he ordered it. And then I said, hey, I emailed Celestron saying, what's the lead time on an EQ8R? They said June or July 2022. I said, all right, so let me order it now, and I'll get it next year. And turns out we have one ordered, and no one has ordered one yet, and so I'm getting it probably in November.
Nice.
So
nice. Yeah, and hopefully this time next week, I will have new product to review and to talk about, and it should be really interesting to see, some of this new stuff. I'm really intrigued with what they've done with this setup, this mobile setup.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be very very cool.
Let's see.
Next
Suburban
week should be
Astronomer
exciting.
popped on. How you doing, Suburban? SA.
Hey. Tried to make it on time. Yeah, see that. Yeah,
Hey, that's okay.
Guys.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. We do start at 8 o'clock on Friday nights, so not 9 o'clock. So I see. At the 9 o'clock thing, by 11, I'm exhausted. I'm like falling asleep, like. I'm exhausted.
I'm usually falling asleep on the couch with the PlayStation controller in my hand, walking into a wall, getting my butt kicked, because I'm sound asleep.
Yeah, so I got this guy. This is the This is the Hotech field flattener that you saw on this. Ooh, yikes! Sorry. Yeah. So I'm looking to get some good stuff going on here,
Yeah.
and we'll see what
Yep.
happens.
Yeah. So yeah, Mark is saying, I want to know how that mount works. Yeah, you're not the only one, Mark. I watched some of the different videos, manufacturing videos, from Rainbow Robotics, and you have to understand, Rainbow Robotics does a lot more than just telescope mounts. They literally build harmonic drive. Motors and things, for robots, for industry, and manufacturing and so on and so forth. And some of their harmonic drives they're just beautiful pieces of machinery.
Yeah.
And the thing that's really cool about those harmonic drives is the stability of them. I mean, this sucker weighs 8 kilos. And it will support 50.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yep.
That's insane.
Mine, unfortunately,
I've never seen anything like it.
70 and could do 110. so it's definitely if you want something light that could handle a decent imaging rig, like either a 127 or an 80 Esprit or somewhere in that area, or 9 1/4 Schmidt, it will definitely work with that. And I think Mark just popped a question up for you.
Yeah, it's that drive with or without encoders. Now I believe the encoders are it's all built into it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. The thing with the harmonic drive is that if you look at any drive system, belt driven, whatever, they've all got a worm gear, right? So you've got a worm gear that, like my finger, and then there's the contact point for the large spiral gear, right? The large round gear, right? And there's a contact point that a lot of times is even smaller than the distance, on my finger to finger here. The thing with the harmonic drive is that at any one time, there's 30% of those gears are engaged at any one time, all the time.
Yeah, because
there's no backlash.
It moves like in an oval.
Yeah, look it up on Google. Go to YouTube and just type in harmonic drives. And you'll see the 2-3 minute videos. It shows you exactly how it works. It is an absolutely genius design. It really is very cool.
It really is. But you know what? It's so genius. You pay $8,000 for it. So.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how much does a 10 micron cost? Or some of those other higher end mounts.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
they're very
Mighty
expensive
or whatever. But
yeah,
software
bisque.
Yeah, that's all software bisque. But I mean,
Crazy.
you get a Mach 1 from Astrophysics or something like that. Put a GTO 9000. It's crazy. But you know what? These mounts are just incredible. They're incredible.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people put enough emphasis on the importance of your mount. Not that you have to spend $10,000 on a mount. I mean, if you got it and you want to spend it, go for it. Good for you. Do it. But if you're trying to put a $4,000 scope on a
HEQ5.
an $800 mount,
or an AVX,
you might run into a problem.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
But this. Listen, I know AVX users, I know HEQ5 users, and they all get good results based on the scope that they have. The issue is that what I've seen in my experience is that people get something called aperture fever, and they always want something bigger and better. And this is what happens. They buy an AVX, they buy a Red Cat, throw their DSLR on it, whatever. So now you're in for what? $850 for the Red Cat, $1,000 for the AVX. You're at $2,000. You're using your DSLR, so you spend no money there. And you take your first picture, and it's a super wide field of view because you do your due diligence of trying to figure out what this is good for and what you're actually going to see. So
And it's noisy as hell.
could be, yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's it's sad when people come into the store and say, I bought this from somebody else, it doesn't matter, and pick a store, and they say, it's just not doing what I want it to do. I'm expecting to see these Hubble pictures, and I got a Space Cat on a DSLR. So, you know, first things first, if anyone told you you're getting a Hubble picture, unless if you're Adam Block, who I love, who has access to these ridiculous sized telescopes that, you know, 3 meter, whatever, I mean, ridiculous sized Hubble scopes with adaptive optics that battle the turbulence of the atmosphere and all this stuff. You're not going to get that. The normal amateur is not going to get that. However, and there's a caveat to this, you can, but you gotta match the scope to the camera to the mount. That those three things need to be in sync with each other in order to get that awesome picture that you want. I mean, I said before, this picture behind me is 26.2 hours of work on the Hart Nebula, and I'll move the hand data Malat 15. But this is a picture that took me 6 months because of the crappy weather we have in New York. And that is an 80 millimeter Esprit, a 3-inch telescope with narrowband filters.
Right.
So it's possible to get these things. You just got to put the time, you got to be patient, you got to do the learning. We say it all the time at the end of every show. Keep imaging, keep educating. And that's what you have to do. Keep learning. We are continually learning. We don't know everything. I must have said I don't know 4 or 5 times tonight because I just don't know. And that's a good start right there. Mastering PixInsight by Rogelio Bernal. Andrea? Rogelio Bernal. Andrea. Yeah, I was right. Okay. Take a look at that. And Warren
That's
Keller,
what you need.
also, if you want something a little bit more technical, has, and I have it right here, Inside PixInsight. And this is a great book as well. This is a 2nd edition. 3rd edition is going to be coming out soon. With some help from Ron Breacher, who is helping him as long. Why is there a Best Buy receipt in here? I don't know. I must have been hiding that for some reason. But
hiding it from the wife.
I don't know what it is. Oh, that's the MacBook Air that I bought my wife for her birthday. In 2018, so a
few years ago.
I guess I don't need that anymore. So, but those are 2 really good resources right now. And if you want something digital, you could get Mastering PixInsight digitally. If you want a PDF, you could buy that as well. Or if you want, there's a ton of online resources, just to name a couple. Adam Block has Pix TV. Awesome resource. If you haven't, he also has Horizons and Fundamentals, which are PixInsight tutorials. Go check it out at AdamBlockStudios.com. You have the group of Masters of PixInsight, and you can find that at mastersofpixinsight.com. They are in coordination with IP4AP. That's IP, the number 4, AP.com. And that is a paid subscription for like $100 a year, but you get everything. It's not only PixInsight, but they do a lot with Photoshop for your Photoshop users out there. What else is out there? Visible Dark, our buddy Sean Nielsen.
Yep.
He has, if you go visibledark.ca and check him out, awesome resources out there. And let's not forget the other big three, Trevor, Chuck, and Dylan O'Donnell. Don't forget those guys, because they're all huge resources out there. Check them out on YouTube. Check them out on the website. There's a lot of good resources out there. You're not in this hobby alone. And that's the important thing, the amount of resources we have out there.
Yeah, that's the whole point behind AstroWorld, is to, build a community of like-minded believers, like-minded, people that want to, polish and enhance their craft, and learn how to do it better. We all learn how to do it better together.
Yeah, our buddy George Lutch popped on.
Yep.
And who else? I'm missing something. Astrophotography. Good targets. You want something high, you got M13, really high. If you want something low, just like Eric said, anything in Scorpio is up if you could see it. I get about 45 minutes where it just arcs over the top of my house and then arcs over the other side of the house. So I could get M8, M20, M4. That's about it. Anything lower than M20, I'm kind of screwed. But yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we're at 9:30.
Wow.
That was
Time
quick.
go. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's time to eat dinner. So,
Oh, you know what? I didn't show you guys my shirt.
oh my God, the shirt again.
Yeah,
The
it's a different one.
astronaut.
Like my shirt.
It is. It's cool.
Yeah, my wife designed that one.
See
The astronaut.
the picture. It's me. See?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, exactly right.
That was when I had
Yeah,
long hair in the 80s. Yeah.
That crazy Einstein hairdo. Yeah. Is that Ron Breacher? That's funny.
Now. Now.
Yeah.
Hey now,
Yep.
brown cow. But
Yeah.
so yeah, so I think that's about it. Unless we have any other questions out there, we'll throw it for about 2 more minutes if there's any other questions out there. And if not, I mean, yeah, just check out the resources. ASI Air, spend more money, get an Eagle, less money, whatever. But listen, the bottom line is what works for you. And if what works for you is taking your DSLR and going on a Skyguider Pro and doing whatever, and that works for you, that's fine. Do it up. Keep on working and stacking and learning PixInsight and there's nothing wrong with getting the free stuff like Deep Sky Stacker, GIMP, Auto Stacker, Nina, which I could use now. I have a QHY camera, so I am really thinking about trying it out. I'm looking forward. I'd rather don't spend any cash and have it all for free. Yeah, me too. That's why. See, the reason why I work at Camera Concepts 1 day a week is so my wife doesn't kick me out the house for getting Astro stuff, so I just get store credit and don't get a paycheck. So that's a true story.
Yeah.
It does pay for the hobby. I do work 6 days a week, so I have my main job. that I do have a, you know, I don't want to say it's a real job, but it's my other job that I work 5 days a week. But hey, and you know what? In all fairness, I get to play with stuff and return it.
Yep.
And you know, as long as it goes back in the same condition that I get it, I don't have to buy it. I sit there and I play with it, and then, you know, as long as I don't put, you know, screw marks on it and whatever, you know, bash it up, send it back and whatever, you know, and reformat it and, you know, put it back on the shelf. But,
Yep.
you know, hey, it is what it is. But
We have a guy in the Netherlands who wants a shirt which says, "I love my wife
when
when
she
she
lets
lets
me
me
buy
buy
Astro
Astro
stuff.
stuff."
Nice. I need that shirt.
We've got another design coming out. She's working on it right now, where she's got I think it's a half a dozen different telescopes, everything from SCTs to refractors to RCs to, I mean, just there's like 6 different ones, and they're all standing on their noses, you know, standing up like rocket ships, and underneath it's going to say totally tubular.
I still think and I want a finder's fee for this
Mhm.
design, just so you know.
Mhm.
And I want a shirt just for me. And you're gonna have
Okay.
a small refractor on one side, and you're gonna have a C14 on the other side. You're gonna have an AstroWorld thing in the middle, the logo in the middle, and on the bottom it's gonna say, "Sometimes it's not the length, it's the girth."
It's the girth.
So, that's what I want. That's what I want. Tell me.
He's a sick puppy, folks.
I do. I have a perverted mind. So, I already got laughs from Beatrice, but
Oh, my goodness.
that's what I want. But anyway, that
Yep.
being said, I think that's a good closing right now. And unless if you have anything, Mr. Scott,
Well, go check us out at
I'm insane. I'm telling you. But
yeah. Go check us out at Astro Playground on
yeah,
on
don't
YouTube.
forget Scott's
And,
channel, Astro Playground. Check it out.
You can also buy your own shirt. You know, from there.
All right, Mr. Capitalist over here. Jeez, I'm starting to
So,
sweat.
but yeah, you know, it's going to be fun next week, man. You
Yeah.
know, next week it's all going to be about that new equipment. So
yeah.
hopefully,
This week it's going to be nice and cloudy. So I'm probably going to do brand new dark, flat, and bias frames on the CCD.
nice.
Beatrice, you
Nice.
have no idea. These dogs are driving me nuts. I've got no sleep the past couple nights.
Oh, really? Your dogs are going nuts? What do you got, raccoons or something?
You would think. But my little 4-pound Chihuahua is very protective. And he sleeps right in my left side, like curled inside me. And Astra, the poodle, likes to, at like 2 o'clock in the morning, likes to come up on the right side of me and cuddle over here. So as Astra gets up, Pepper just starts growling and gets mad, very protective,
Back
and
off.
wakes, and that's all he does. And it's waking me up the past 3 nights. And it's been a rough time at work, so I've been working 13-hour days, and so it's been a mess. But anyway,
That's just dog people for you, man. You know, I had a 70-pound Australian Shepherd that used to sleep right up next, right in between me and my wife. He'd just get right in there and snuggle down in, and that's just the way it is.
oh man.
And it's that's the life of a dog owner. You
Yeah,
know?
but
my
you know
new
what?
my new
That's-
puppy, it's not there yet. He
that's
hasn't
our
gotten over
fault.
peeing on the bed.
Yeah, that's our fault as dog trainers. We allow them to do this, and then before you know it, it's too late. It's now a habit, and now it's every night, and now they're very intrusive. If you get my meaning, and it's just not. Yeah, well, You know,
Yeah. What are you
it's-
doing?
I guess
What are
it's
you
like
doing?
kids. Sometimes you just wish you could kick them out for a day and then make sure they come back. But
Yep.
but anyway, it's time to go.
Yeah.
And
Now, from the other side of the pond. Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Night night from the other side of the pond. Yeah.
so
Yep.
that being
Okay.
said,
Next week.
yeah, next week or Wednesday night we
Wednesday.
have our normal, not normal, but our technical talk. Even though we were a little technical tonight, usually tonight's I'm trying to build this with Scott on beginners and getting people cut in. So if you guys or girls, sorry, I say guys, I'm New York, I'm sorry, don't take it offensively, but guys is a generic term. It's not sexist or anything. It's just a generic thing. We're from Long Island, so if you know people that are starting into this hobby and have questions, let them know about us, and let them know that we put ourselves out here and we act stupid sometimes. But you know what? From a serious note, we're here to kind of build the hobby, and the hobby doesn't need any help building, as COVID has shown us, but some people don't know where to go for help, and that's why we started AstroWorld. And it originally started about 2 years ago, but it's grown into something else. We have almost 800 subscribers on YouTube. We have followers all over the place. So let people know about us. Let's build the community together. And for those of you like Beatrice and George and Mark and all those people that have been watching us since day one, thank you so much for the support. We can't thank you enough, even though Mark's got his wise cracks in there, and that's okay. It's all good fun, but please, come on down, check out the website, and I'll throw it on up here. There's the website. Check it out. It's still a work in progress. Please don't make fun of me. It's my first time making a website. So, if you have anybody that knows web design out there that wants to help, let me know. It's going to be free. I'm not going to pay you, but we're more going to be able to help. So that being said, thank you so much, and we're at 1 hour and 40 minutes. So I think that's about it. So guys, have a good night, and if I can find the close button, that'd be nice. There we go. And have a good night, guys. And as always, remember, keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And we'll see you Wednesday at 9 p.m. on AstroWorld TV. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.